Okay, this would be number 4. Oh, my phone. I would tell you about the Word, Microsoft one. I won't do. I'll do it real quick. I got Microsoft because one of my video upload sites is OneDrive, which is Microsoft. Oh, I could get the free, word processor, the Microsoft, the latest one, but I'm used to the free one that I use, just because it's WordPress or whatever the name of it is. So the other night they downloaded, but in like a month I'll have the free one if I want it, but I don't want it. I got used to the other one. So they've been asking me, do you want it on your computer? What they did was they installed the new Microsoft Word, which I did not want. This is how they do advertising. This is the world, the scams of the world. But it uninstalls whatever Word you are already using, another software, it uninstalls that. So it takes about an hour. They assume that people that are not familiar with computers are not going to be able to go in and uninstall. It's very easy to uninstall what they put down. But some people would just buy it because they installed it for you, and then they said, but it doesn't work. Like it's limited until you activate or buy it. So I uninstalled it, but then when my old one that's still on my laptop, the one I use, my word processor, it disconnects every function. And you had to go in and reopen every function. Now it took a good hour and a half of me messing with it, but they just assumed that most people that are not familiar with it will buy. And that was bad. Now I'll do this last one. It looks like we're going to get rain. In all my dealings, there could be a class action suit against Social Security. And this is why. From what all my dealings with them, one of the things, and because I realized when they started playing games, it seems to me that they were in violation of the Hippa laws. Hippa laws were instituted, I'm familiar with them because we dealt with medical records at the fire department. Hippa laws basically in the old days, when reporters would come to the Kingsville Fire Department to check, we want to look at the runs, we want to look at your ambulance and all that. Kingsville Record would come in and check, a couple days a week. But we would show them all the official stuff. But HIPAA laws were instituted many years ago now on custody of medical records. So it all became very private. Reporters could not look at people's medical records. Now, I noticed in all of my fights with this corrupt meth dealing distribution place, most of you that are familiar know a lot of this stuff already. But I sent them many of my own medical records. But this could be a class action suit where Thomas Henry or somebody can make a lot. And I don't do that kind of lawsuit stuff. But at a certain point I said, give me all my records I sent you. And what they did was they sent me everything. Initially, because of the way I do my own stuff, initially they didn't want to correspond with me. But because I don't hire lawyers, I said I'd have to write them. They should have known this. I said, look, I'm personally representing myself in all of this stuff over 10 years. I said, for that reason, I am, if you will, the lawyer for my own case. I said, so you cannot. Normally, if they go through all these other money guys, and that's why they make these deals. I said, you have to respond when I requested my records, my medical. Then they knew I was right. They probably asked somebody, is this guy telling? Yes, he's representing himself. But what they did was they sent everything on digital file. Okay. And then in my correspondence, I said, I want my paper records. Now, I know they destroyed everything. Social Security does that with everybody for the document file, government. But what they got to do is they can't just throw it in a dumpster. Any people's medical records of these last 13, 15 years since HIPAA laws have been law, they got to let you know. When did you destroy my actual medical records? So under law now, those are private. And when you contact with anybody, you release the right to your medical records to whether it's the government or whoever. But they can't release them to anybody else. And if they don't have documentation for all of the millions of people that deal with that department, you could have a class action suit that they violated Hippa laws. And I think it would be good at this stage to bankrupt what we understand in this country as Social Security. People that are familiar with it also realize how it was just a trust fund that the government took money out of to pay. It was like a tax that they used for all other types of things, entitlements and all. And most people, like myself, the working public who paid a ton of money into that, there should be criteria that if you invested so much that you should have, it was an insult to me. And they, at one point they said, your medical conditions are good if you never worked. You'd get it. That was an insult to me. And what they did about insufficient work history, which was a game. I said, you telling me what I explained? It showed me what a scam they are. So this will be the last one on that. But I think any smart lawyer, Thomas Henry or anybody, you could have a class action suit, because what they did, from what I understand, is they didn't properly destroy a lot of people's paper medical records that were sent in. I sent in my x-rays, things like that. They only saved it on a digital file. We understand that. But you couldn't just throw those out in a dumpster. And if you did not throw all of the people's or all these, then you got to have documentation. When and the manner of shredding or whatever they did. So, but it would be, that'll be the last one. There are many suits people could have against that. Particularly my sister who died, who was a heroin addict her whole life, but also, was on disability her whole life. But they're so irresponsible in the dissemination of the working people's money. They're so irresponsible in that. And it adds to the drug plague that we have in the country and here in Corpus Christi. The times I've walked past that Social Security, you have lines all the way into the street for people who never worked, which is very sad. I've known people that, like I said, because of what I do in the street, I've known them for many, many years, never worked. And I thought, and no disability, look, better shape than I am, and sometimes when I can't walk or whatever, when those things happen. So this will be the last one. But the public has a class action suit against Social Security if they wanted to do it.